Welcome back to my channel. Today we're down in beautiful sunny Phillip Island and I have Jess from Backyard Botany with me. How are you, Jess?
Good.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Yeah.
Can't wait to show you some of the food plants that we have around here.
We're going to learn how to identify how a plant is an edible food plant.
I also like to talk about the evolutionary traits of some of the plants, and we talk a little bit about the molecular structure, but we'll break it right down so it's nice and easy to understand.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We've got our first cab off the rank here, haven't we?
Yeah, so the first one that we have here is Atriplex cinerea. This is our grey saltbush, and this has antiviral and antibacterial properties. This is one of the plants in the Chenopodiaceae family, and chenopods have really good adaptations to dealing with salt stress. So the way that the saltbush deals with it, if you have a look up close to the grey leaves, they actually are really mottled, and you may not see it through the camera, but you will see it when you're looking at it in real life. These are little salt bladders, and under a microscope you can see those. So they'll fill up with salt, and then when they get full, they burst and release the salt back out into the atmosphere. So that's why this salt.
So it's a real, there's a real science to it all, isn't there?
Yeah, well, that's the molecular botany.
Yep.
So we like to talk about all of that in the walks that I do.
It's very interesting to hear you talking about that. Now, how would we identify this plant as a edible food plant?
Yeah, so along the coastal regions, a lot of the foliage is quite green. You've either got dark greens or bright greens with a lot of the different species. As you can see here, the grey saltbush is very grey. It's very glaucous. So you're not going to find too many species that have this really grey texture to their leaves.
All right.
And like I said, when you look up at the leaf closely, you'll see these shimmering mottled surface on it.
Yep.
And they don't often get much taller than this around the coast as well.
So what would you use this as, a salad or?
Yeah, so you can dry out the leaves and you can use them as a salt substitute. They have actually been scientifically proven to lower cholesterol rather than increase it.
I have to start using it myself.
Yeah, so I've got a foraging permit for this beach here, so I'm legally allowed by Bass Coast to forage on this beach.
We won't arrest you today?
No, but a lot of the local nurseries sell these, so you can put them in your own yards, and because it's got this nice grey colour to it, it adds a really good depth when you plant it in your yard.
Okay, and they grow really easily from cuttings, don't they?
They do, yeah. So the way that I would harvest this is I would grab something like this.
Yep.
And then I would hang that up. I'd just hang it up to dry.
There we go, yeah.
And then once it's dry, it does actually crumble quite well. So you can add the whole leaves into dishes that you're going to be cooking, or you can crunch them and use them as a salt over some dishes as well. You can also fry them up with a bit of butter, like a burnt butter sage, and use them on pasta dishes or seafood dishes.
So, because you don't live too far from here, so do you just pop down to the beach and pick a few? Oh, you've probably got most of them in your home.
I do have a lot of them in my home garden. I've got over 67 native edible species in my home garden.
So with the flowers, I know these get like a burgundy reddish type of funny looking flower on them. Are they usable for anything?
So they're normally the male flower when you see the flower heads in the top, up at the top of the leaves. And then the female normally has these smaller flowers in the leaf axils.
All right.
And then the female will obviously produce the seeds. And the seeds have a really cool adaptation as well. They go through a process called dehiscence. And dehiscence is where a seed won't open until an environmental factor is in play. And chenopods, they glue their seed pods shut because they're in a lot of in the central deserts in Australia, they don't get a lot of water. So they'll glue their seed pods shut, drop them to the ground, and they'll stay like that for years if we're in a drought. And they'll only release that glue once enough water dilutes the glue to let the seed out.
So then everything will happen when they get a good rain.
Yeah, and they could do that for years.
And what pollinates, do you know what pollinates these plants?
These are
like an insect
pollinated, yeah. So
yeah, all right. Well,
and they're good to eat.
Some very interesting information there.
You can eat them raw as well. Just make sure that you're harvesting from the tops.
Oh yes, very salty.
And like I said, that's antiviral in that, so it's like your daily dose of cough medicine.
Now we're standing in front of one of our local acacias. Which one's this, Jess?
This is Acacia longifolia varsiforae. So this is our coast wattle, is its common name.
And these are what the leaves look like.
Or are they leaves?
I'm not sure, you tell me.
These are flattened stems. These are called phyllodes. And on each phylode, you're not going to see it through the camera, but there is an oil gland on each phylode. Those oil glands are there to be able to help us identify what acacia we're looking at. So where those oil glands are placed, either on the phylode or the stem, is going to tell us what sort of acacia we're looking at.
So what you need, like a magnifying glass to get in? And
you can see it with the naked eye, but a lot of the time I use a hand lens. So this is the oil gland on the phylode down the bottom here.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to see that with the camera. It's very,
so where is it? Just at the...
Very small at the leaf base.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this plant's pollinated by ants, and the phylode, the oil gland on the phylode, is actually to attract the ant to the plant. Another trait that acacias have evolved is that around their seed coating, they have an elaiosome, which is normally the red part that goes around the seed. That is full of fats, sugars, and carbohydrates, and the ants eat that, take it back under their ant houses, bury it, and then when the plants either die from drought or they have a fire spread through, the next rain that comes through will fertilise all of those seeds and they'll sprout up from the ant homes.
Oh, wow.
So there's some evolutionary traits of acacias.
Yeah. So what I first noticed was when Jess and I walked up to this acacia here, was all these little brown nut or ball type things on the branches, and I thought they were old seeds. But what are they, Jess?
These are insect gall. So I've got some brown ones here, and I've got some new ones which haven't turned brown yet, the green ones here. These are not seeds. Don't get these confused with seeds. These are insect galls. So we'll throw them away now.
Okay, so what do the seeds actually look like, Jess?
These are the seed pods when they are fresh. Now you can eat these. It's a stomach irritant if you eat the pod. You can steam them or put them over a fire and eat the seeds out of them. So like a pea out of the bean.
So do they taste like a pea or a bean?
Yeah, they taste like green beans.
Okay.
And this is what the outer shells look like once they have dehisced. So dehiscence is where the seed will split on both sides and release the seed back out into the atmosphere.
Okay.
Green seed pods, obviously when they're bigger than this, you can steam or roast and pull the seeds out. You don't eat the seed coat. And the old seed pods, when they look brown like this, you can actually get the grain out of it. It'll be a black seed at this point. And that is what your stock standard wattle is. So you can roast that. You can also dry them out. By this point they are quite dry, but you can eat them raw. So you can actually cook, well, not raw, you use the seed and you cook it in a slow cooker, and you can use it like an ancient grain, like a rice.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So there's some of the edibility.
Yep.
This also has an edible sap on it as well. So
Okay.
if you ever notice any sap coming out of it. It's meant to be sweet. I don't think it tastes very sweet. I think it tastes like dry pasta. But
Right. Well, we've all got different tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of these uses, our Indigenous Australians would have, made their food and all that sort of thing from these plants.
yeah, definitely. And while we're on that topic, we probably should just pay respects to the traditional owners of Malau, the Bunurong and Boonwurrung.
Yep.
And just also acknowledge that the reason that we know a lot of these plants are edible are from tens of thousands of years of trial and error by the Indigenous peoples. So
Yep.
I'm non-Indigenous, but I have been given permission to do what I'm doing on Bunurong land.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
In a lot of places like this, I can imagine them back, hundreds or thousands of years ago, walking around, spearing fish, picking foods off our local plants and all that type of thing. And I can just picture it,
Well, and that's it. And a lot of this food knowledge is going to waste. No,
it's not. You're doing it.
I know. So that's the point. And we go to supermarkets and we collect all of our food from supermarkets, but a lot of people are not paying attention to the plants out in the wild anymore.
Yeah.
And if we stop doing that, the world's going to be a really sad place.
They're buying all this processed garbage from overseas and all that type of thing, aren't
Well,
they?
that's it. And like I try to explain to people, I don't teach people botany to be able to go on alone and eat their way through the bush and survive. I teach people because of the micronutrients that you can get in your daily life. So if you were to walk along the coast and know how to identify a lot of these plants, just taking little bits from a little bit of plant here and there is like naturopathy. You're taking micronutrients regularly to sustain your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Seaberry saltbush.
Okay.
So I spoke before about how the saltbush had the mottled leaf surface and it had salt bladders, and it releases that salt out into the atmosphere so it doesn't die of salt toxicity. The way that the Seaberry saltbush does that is it has an old leaf and it will open its potassium channels, shove all the salt into the old leaves and turn them red, and then it drops them off. So that's how this plant doesn't die of salt toxicity, which I just think is really interesting.
Yeah.
So if you were to eat a red leaf as opposed to a green leaf, the red one would be more salty. So that's how it deals with it. And the reason it turns red is because it's killing all of the chloroplasts, all of the green pigment in the leaves from all the salt.
So it's like molting or shedding its layers by dropping the leaves turning red and dropping off. Yeah. So the red leaves, once they drop off, they're still good to use. Like if you wanted to use them in cooking and things like that.
Yeah, of course. So you can eat the red or the green. The red are just going to be more salty.
More salty.
So a lot of the time when I'm harvesting Seaberry saltbush, I just run my hands down it.
Come in here, mate.
And just pull off as much as I need. So this is quite salty, not as salty as the salt bushes. And you can eat that raw or cooked. I'll often put that into little mini quiches for the kids' lunches and things like that.
Yep.
So,
and do you ever throw a bit in a salad? Or?
Yeah, you can eat this raw.
Seems like it'll go all right a little bit in a salad just to...
Yeah, and you don't have to worry too much about the oxalates in that. So that's pretty good to just eat raw. Just make sure you clean things before you eat them most of the time.
Yep. Now you're picking off the some of the berries there.
Yeah, so this is one of the best parts about Seaberry saltbush. It gets these little discoid berries. They're dark red.
They're cute little things. Yeah.
And they are extremely bitter.
Yeah, right.
And they've got a seed in the middle of them. You can either eat the seed or spit it out.
Oh, yeah. After it took a while.
And the reason that is because they are jam-packed with antioxidants. So they are really, really good for you, high in vitamin C and high in antioxidants.
Wow.
So we've got to remember that a couple of hundred years ago, refined sugar wasn't really a part of our diets, and bitter plants or plant material, fruits were more common. And the bitter sensations in our mouth aren't really something that we're used to as much anymore.
All right, so it'll be a bit harder to sneak a few of those berries into one of the kids' meals, or
Possibly. I
with
mean,
that bitterness?
my kids would just eat them
Yeah,
anyway.
they're used to being tortured.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I was saying,
Tortured with healthiness.
You've got to have the micronutrients, and it's all about doing the things that are good for your body. So if you're out for a walk and you see those, you have a few of those, and that's like your daily multivitamin.
Yeah.
And also antioxidants infiltrate the red blood cells with oxygen, and that can make you feel more energetic. So
There we go. I feel like I've got a pep in my step already.
yeah. There was a study done on several thousand people, and they found that over 95% of people were plant blind, meaning that they can't determine the differences between species of plants. And this was in the 90s. And I think that we're probably even more disconnected now than what we were back then.
So that just means that there's so much that people are missing out on, aren't they?
Definitely. You know? And it also, everyone talks a lot about mindfulness, meditation. Connecting with nature is like that. It is meditation. If you can get out and you can identify and connect with your local environment, it actually physically helps you too.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we teach the younger generation specifically what botany is and how they can use that in their everyday lives. So these coastal foraging walks that we do, they connect people. So next time they're out, they're not just with their heads down, they're actually trying to actively identify what they know they've learned.
Yeah.
And I've told everyone that comes on my walks that they're more than welcome to just send me a text.
All right.
And if they want, I can identify things.
So Jess, we're at your humble abode here.
Yeah, this is my little native edible garden. It is intertwined with some non-native edibles as well.
So tell us about your botany qualifications.
Yeah, so I'm a qualified ethnobotanist. I did a environmental science degree with a major in plant biology and a minor in Indigenous studies. So I work with Indigenous mob to try and bridge the gap between ancient traditional knowledges and modern plant science.
And you work all over Victoria? Or?
Yeah, I get booked as a guest speaker all over Victoria at events. So people either book me privately or I do public events, and I do a lot of conferences and work with people all the way from 3 up to 100.
It's all right, we've just got a dog
friend.
joined us here. Hello, pup.
Hello,
that's
buddy.
okay. Tell us about your edible native Indigenous garden here.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of species. I've got over 67 species from the front and the backyard of native edible plants. So we can have a look at some specifically, if any stand out that you want to talk about.
Well, I'm looking at this Prostranthera here. Is this a Prostranthera rotundifolia? It
is. I'll come back this way.
Yeah.
The Prostranthera species are one of my favourites. Some of my favourites. So rotundifolia is quite pungent. It's very strong mint. It's a native oregano. So I probably would use this more in savoury dishes rather than sweet dishes. But it's got a really sweet little leaf on it, and these become abundant in purple flowers. So these have just gone to seed now. But all of the Prostrantheras get like a purple bell flower on them, and they attract blue-banded bees. So they're really important pollinators because they pollinate via buzz pollination rather than carrying the pollen on their legs, which is what we need for symbiotic relationships with the native plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have blue-banded bees that come in, must live in my garden, and they come out when the weather gets a bit warmer. But I want to attract more of them into the garden, so I'll have to plant some more prostranthus in the garden.
Definitely, yep.
Yeah.
They're attracted, the purple attracts the blue-banded bees and the bell-shaped flowers.
That's interesting,
Yeah.
yeah. And that. So this is a Indigo australis by the looks here, Jess.
Yeah, it is. So this is a native indigo. And the reason that I planted this is because I'm going to use it as a fish poison. So in all of the old textbooks, Indigenous uses were to use that as a fish poison to stun the fish. It deoxygenates their water and they can't breathe, so they come up to the surface and you can grab the fish. So I'm probably going to barricade off a river, put a little bit of fish poison in there, throw in some clematis or some dodder laurel and use those vines to try and drag out some stunned fish.
Wow. So it doesn't actually kill the fish, it like stuns them?
Just deoxygenates the water. Because I looked into that, because if we're putting toxins into the water, we don't want that. And we also don't want to eat fish that have toxins in them. So
no.
Yeah.
So, but this would have been
saponins.
something that our Indigenous Australians would have used.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
definitely. And there are quite a few acacias that have the same saponins in them that can stun the fish as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've noticed this beautiful Banksia primorsa with the port wine coloured flowers on here. Have a look at that.
This one's not quite in full bloom yet.
No. So what uses would like a flower like this have for, food or drinks or?
Yeah, well, Banksias have a few uses. The flowers specifically from Banksia, Grevillea, callistemons, they would be soaked in water and then drunk as a cordial.
Okay.
So what I do with a lot of the flowers is, I've done it with callistemon. I haven't chopped these ones off. Cut the callistemon flowers off, put a couple of litres of water into a saucepan, strain, soak them for a couple of hours or an hour over the heat, and then strain the flowers out, continue to boil it down, and it turns into a syrup. So you can extract all of the nectars out of these flowers.
I have read that some of the Grevillea flowers, like the Grevillea juncifolia, they do the same thing. They soak the flower in the water.
Yeah.
And then when they drink it, it gives them. It's got a mild. Gives them a mild high.
Yeah. Oh, well, I haven't heard that bit yet.
A bit of an extra bonus.
You've got some Grevilleas around, don't you?
Yeah.
Party
that one's in flower at the moment, actually.
We'll have to test that theory.
Well, thanks for having me over today, Jess. I've learned a hell of a lot of interesting things that I didn't have a clue about, these Indigenous plants.
Oh, good. Thanks for coming.
And a lot of reasons why we should be paying more attention to them.
Yeah.
So I've noticed you've got a book and some cards here.
I do. I created this book this year just as another way to communicate botany science or botanical science with kids specifically. It's the A to Z of botany for kids. These will be ready for Christmas, and they've got lovely illustrations in them, and it just runs kids through different botanical terms that are going to be lost if we don't put them back out into the world. So everything I do is just trying to get people to connect back with botany. So I created these.
And you got some nice cards.
Yeah, these are in over 30 stockists around Bass Coast, and they were just created so people could get to know some of the native flowers, native foliage, and put little sayings below them as well. So they're just some little things that I sell at workshops, or people, eventually I'll set up a shop online and people can purchase them. But for now, if anyone wants to purchase them, they just have to contact me.
Yep. All right, so how do people contact you, Jess?
They can either send me a text or an email. All my details are on my website. So.
All right, and I'll put Jess's details on the screen. Share a comment and a like, and subscribe to Binchy's Garden on my YouTube channel, and we will catch you again next time.